Hello, my name is Bethany Voigt, and this is my HIM 5370 reading presentation. The article I chose to present is called Clinical Decision Support Systems, State of the Art by E.S. Berner. Just an overview of what I'm going to cover today includes what are clinical decision support systems, the types of CDS systems, their impact and effectiveness, as well as the proper design and implementation process of clinical decision support systems. So to begin, what actually are clinical decision support systems, or CDS? These systems are advanced technological systems with the ability to assist clinicians, associated staff, and patients with appropriate and beneficial knowledge, as well as specified information to enhance health and healthcare. And these systems can be used to assist clinicians in decision making by taking over some routine tasks, warning clinicians of potential problems, or even providing suggestions for clinician consideration. And really, the overall goal with these systems is to improve quality of healthcare upon their implementation. And another note is providers and healthcare institutions are encouraged to implement these systems because they lead to better patient care, treatment, and outcome, as well as better recognition for the facility and even the providers. And it is highly unlikely that there will be major improvements in the quality and even the cost of care without proper implementation and use of CDS. Moving into types of CDS systems, these systems are focused on knowledge-based CDS systems. And today, these systems provide various options, ranging from general references, specific guidelines, preventative care, follow-ups, duplicate testing alerts, and even disease management, and many more various options. And with this, CDS can be implemented using a variety of platforms, one of them being EMR systems. And some of these systems can be built into the EMR system or housed outside of the local site. And whether or not the system is housed outside or inside the site, it still is to be utilized appropriately with underlying methods of elements to ensure proper quality of care of patients. And a majority of these CDS systems are used for accurate diagnoses, screenings for diseases, and preventing adverse drug reactions. And with this, some examples of CDS interventions include preventative care, things like diagnoses, planning or implementing treatment, even follow-up management, hospital or provider efficiency, and cost reductions, as well as improved patient convenience. Continuing with types of CDS systems, specifically, these systems are meant to assist clinicians rather than replace them. And when selecting a CDS system, it is necessary to take into account what information is presented, when it is presented, and how it is presented. And whatever the features of CDS delivery of information, the quality of the information and the evidence underlying it are the major determinants of the impact of CDS on patient safety as well as quality improvement. Additionally, some CDS systems differ in how much control the user has over the decision to actually use the CDS. These decisions involve not only whether the CDS is set up to be displayed on demand so that users have full control over what they actually choose to access, but they can also after viewing the CDS information, choose whether or not to accept it. Moving on to impacts and effectiveness of CDS. Under care process and patient health outcomes, studies show that CDS prevents medication errors. Some of the studies portrayed that the systems help control mortality, specifically with deep vein thrombosis. They reminded clinicians of diagnoses. Some of them portrayed advice from CDS to be ignored, leading to mixed results in preventing drug events. CDS systems suggest clinicians change their actions instead of being reminded of their intentions, which that type of system is mostly favored by clinicians. Also, impacts of ignoring alerts can cause problems if not rated for severity, and researchers encourage CDS to be included in facility workflow. Under structure, structure is made up of the people, the organization, technology, task, and even the environment. And really the impacts and effectiveness here is they increase in individuals needing to tend to CDS, reduce healthcare costs by reducing things such as adverse drug events. Sometimes the systems can be viewed as cost efficient as well as costly due to time consumption. And definitely development, implementation, and maintenance of the actual system impacts structure. Moving on to our last topic, design and implementation of CDS. This starts with identifying functional requirements, then designing the system for environment measures, next planning the implementation process, and last determining how to evaluate the system. And sometimes these systems of implementation can have design flaws that may lead to problems. And most of the studies that were reported in this article found that the problems were mainly the result of system implementation issues rather than inaccurate recommendations of system flaws. And to go into the necessities of the implementation process, they include workflow integration, in which workflow includes the structure or work system features and processes that support care, data entry and output, in which most of CDS systems are integrated into an EMR and draw their patient information from that record. However, if the facility uses a paper chart or if the CDS cannot be integrated into EMR, the user may have to enter patient information twice, and a workflow issue can lead to failure to use the CDS routinely. The third necessity is standards and transferability. So users need to recognize that even EMRs with CDS systems may not be ready to actually use without some additional work. And really, with this, effective CDS implementation usually requires some degree of local customization, whether it's a commercial CDS or maybe some type of special feature. The fourth necessity is knowledge maintenance, which mainly involves maintaining the accuracy of the patient record. And the problem of knowledge maintenance is important for all types of CDS systems, not just things like alerts and reminders, but it is important to monitor the accuracy of the patient's record and to address problems encountered. And lastly, clinician motivation to use CDS. In order for CDS to be effective, clinicians must be motivated to use these systems. And many features of the healthcare environment may decrease rather than increase this motivation. So it's definitely a challenge for CDS implementation faced by patient safety and quality improvement because there can be legal situations in regards to liability, and so hopefully in the future clinicians' resistance to this type will lessen. And so really an important takeaway from this article is that CDS systems are still improving and they definitely have more pros than cons. And I do not think this article is outdated. I think it's very useful to look back onto for a healthcare system wanting to implement one. And definitely this article talks about comparisons of CDS systems, which relates to our lesson. So thank you for watching my presentation, and feel free to comment below.